In 1 week time, the World Cup will begin, and I thought, why not figure out who are the favourites going into this tournament and simulating it until every single team comes out victorious. So what I've done is I've gone into a simulator and I've simulated the World Cup until we've had every team win. So, to start it off, we had to put the chaos factor on standard because realistically, a World Cup is never going to be just the favourites win every time. Every single round the favourites win. There's always going to be upsets. So, chaos factor, I've put it on standard. I feel if you put it on predictable, boring, bit of boring stuff, you know what I mean? So, without further ado, I'm now going to show you what I did, who came out on top the most, and use that data to figure out who really are the favourites for this World Cup. Before we get into the video, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share with friends, really appreciated. And we are going all in for this World Cup, so stay tuned for some crazy World Cup content. But let's get straight into it. So simulation number 1 gave us Portugal as our champions. Portugal, there you go. They're ticked off the list. 1 down, 47 to go. Not great, but we're going to be here a while. Simulation number 2 saw Spain win, and this would become a little bit of a pattern. Spain are going to win it a lot, okay? They won it about 5 times in a row from this point on. I'm not going to show you the screenshot of every single one because I'll be here all day. But Spain have won quite a few at this point already. We then get to simulation 9, where so far we've just had Portugal, Spain and Germany as our champions until we get Croatia winning, beating Norway in the final. Finally, we have a semi sort of underdog winning the tournament. After that Croatia win, we started to see Argentina and France get involved, and you know, as you would expect. So far, bar Croatia, we've only had Portugal, Spain, Germany, Argentina, France. That's expected. To be honest, I shouldn't be surprised until we get to simulation number 12. Paraguay win it. When I tell you I simulated this, and the shock on my face when I saw Paraguay before England, before Brazil. Oh my days. Paraguay before Brazil. Neymar versus, who do even Paraguay have? Enciso, is he Paraguayan or is he Panama? One of the two. Paraguay winning in this 12th simulation before all of these massive nations is mental. At this point on, we were starting to get a few more winners. Netherlands went on to win a few, and then in simulation 16, Colombia. Luis Diaz brings it home. Colombia are winners, beating Uruguay in the final. After 16 simulations, we've already had 9 different winners, showing this World Cup is fairly open, and it may not go to exactly who you expect. One thing I was noticing a lot in these simulations is that France were beating England in this quarter-final every single time. I'm yet to see England win this quarter-final versus France. So it'll be interesting to see if England can win it, because they've got a bit of a problem. England, they can't get past France. And France are winning it a lot at this moment in time. I believe France were top of the list for the most wins. So what can they do? How can they get over that? That is going to be clearly, by this predictor, going to be a difficult one for England to overcome in the summer. Number 19, we have Scotland. Football ain't coming home. According to this, Scotland winning the World Cup is more likely than England. That is mental. Scotland winning is more likely than England winning, based on the fact that it's come up this much quicker. Mad. Absolute mad. Scott McTominay, Andy Robertson, Bedlam in the streets of Glasgow. Scotland are actually doing really well in like a majority of these simulations. So very interesting when they clearly see Scotland as a team likely to go far with a good core, and I can understand where they see that. They've also got the momentum. They're running on that. So we interested to see where Scotland go. We got Paraguay again, man. Paraguay have defeated Turkey. Paraguay have won it twice before England, before Brazil. Yeah, honestly, fairs. Who do these lot think Paraguay are? Bear in mind, we are still on standard on this chaos meter. And Paraguay have won it twice in 27 attempts. 2 out of 27. Somebody do the math. That's got to be decent probability of Paraguay winning the World Cup. But it did finally come home at number 29. Simulation 29 saw England defeat Uruguay 4-0 in the final. So basically there's a 1/29%, what is that? I don't know the maths. Basically, there's a 29 takes for England to win the World Cup. Not looking good, lads. Not looking good. Now, Paraguay too good. Who do these lot think Paraguay are? Paraguay have got it for their 3rd World Cup. Paraguay. Who do these lot think Paraguay are? Prime Brazil, Prime Barcelona. They got Iniesta in midfield, Ronaldinho on the wing. Bloody hell. Paraguay. How will Paraguay keep winning this simulation? I have no idea. What on earth is going on? Paraguay again. I'm starting to believe when I do my World Cup predictions, I'm going to put Paraguay through now. Because, well, clearly they're doing something right, aren't they? Now, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. They've done it again. Paraguay have done it again. Attempt number 37 saw Paraguay get their 4th World Cup, beating Spain 5-0 in the final. Brother, what? 5-0? Brazil haven't even won it yet. And we've got Paraguay beating Spain 5-0 in the final. Brazil did eventually start winning it, however. They did start to get some on the board. At turn number 45, we got Canada. I mean, we had done 14 different winners in 45 attempts. And it was okay. And if I remember correctly, I got up to 50. And then I went, right, we need to do something big here. So we changed it up. We put the chaos factor up to the highest standard possible before it goes into chaos mode. So it's still standard, but there's a little bit more sauce involved, you know? A little bit more tastiness. But by attempt number 60, we had no real luck in changing much. Portugal was still winning. France was still winning. Spain was still winning. Argentina was still winning. So we weren't really getting anywhere. So after 70 goes, we went into high chaos and we started to get a few new winners. Turkey, Belgium, Uruguay, Australia, Senegal, Switzerland, Japan and South Korea. We all managed to get at least one World Cup medal along the way. And at that point, we'd had 22 winners across 100 attempts. 22 different winners across 100 attempts. And it got to the point where we need something to change. So, what did we do? High chaos. Full chaos. What are they going to do? They're going to give us something good. They're going to give us something amazing. I can feel it. We're going to get Uzbekistan, Cape Verde, Curacao. They're all going to be winning it left, right and centre. Now we've got Brazil. First try, we've got Brazil. The first roll on high chaos mode, we've got Brazil. I was excited. I was ready. I literally pressed that button going, oh, we're going to see a Curacao win. I'm ready. Nah, Brazil. Did they not rate Brazil? Because when we did it on just standard, they hardly ever gave it to Brazil. We put it on full chaos. First try and they've given it Brazil. After that shocker of a start on full chaos mode with Brazil, we then got some new winners. Ecuador winning it 7 times once we go into full chaos, suggesting that they are the most likely winners of the unlikely. Egypt as well, Panama, Czech Republic, Iran, New Zealand, Morocco, Senegal, South Africa. And when we got to that, we had found 30 nations winning the World Cup. Obviously, those were full chaos mode rather than normal, but if we were there on normal, we were never going to get any different winners, okay? And then we get to 146, the greatest simulation of them all. Uzbekistan. World champions Uzbekistan. It's the best day of all our lives. I cannot believe it. Uzbekistan have won, finally, a proper underdog. A proper nobody that no one expects to win. Kusanov is lifting the World Cup trophy. And what's mental here, we had Haiti in the semi-finals as well. It's a pretty good run, this. We even had Cape Verde in the quarterfinals. We're missing out Curacao for the 4 little minnows of the World Cup, I'd say. So that was the first real sign of something going on. 20 sims later, we weren't getting anything different until 176, where we finally got USA and we had 32 winners. So with still 16 remaining, we had done full chaos mode. We'd done 176 simulations, and obviously the original World Cup was at 32. Now it's at 48. So, you know what I said? Screw you, FIFA. If you're part of the 16 teams that have qualified for this World Cup when you really shouldn't have, well, you're not going to win it. It's that simple, okay? Look, I've tried, okay? but there is practically a 0% chance that you win this World Cup. If people really want to see me go again, I will, but I really can't be asked because I just kept getting Spain, Argentina, Brazil, France, England all the time. So now, the final countdown of all 176 nations. Who came out on top? Well, here is the order. With just one win out of 176 was USA, Uzbekistan, South Africa, Morocco, New Zealand, Czech Republic, and Japan. So those lot are very, very unlikely to win it. With just 2 World Cups, we had Iran, Panama, Egypt, South Korea, Australia, Belgium, and Scotland. Which, Iran winning twice was mad, Panama winning twice is mad. Belgium only winning twice is very interesting for me. Belgium are like one of the... They're not the top dog, but they're one of the ones I'd imagine to get more than twice. Just 2 World Cup wins. And with 3 wins, Senegal, Uruguay, and Canada. Then on to 4, Switzerland, Paraguay, who, by the way, didn't win a single World Cup once we took it off just regular standard. So there were all of these once it got chaotic and unlikely that they didn't win, but when it was just normal, they won it 4 times. Are Paraguay about to win the World Cup? Is that what we're seeing here? They couldn't, could they? Oh, and Croatia got 4 wins, I don't know if I said that. With 5 wins, we had Colombia and Netherlands. With 6, there was Brazil. Now, with 7, take this first one with a pinch of salt, Ecuador. They won every single one at full chaos mode. So yeah, of all the teams that are unlikely to win it, they're the most likely, but I wouldn't put them on a high in likeliness just because they won it all in high chaos. Portugal, Turkey also had 7. Turkey getting 7 is quite astonishing. Turkey winning it more than Brazil is quite mad, even when you consider like Brazil were winning it on high chaos. So it's kind of mad that Turkey ended up with 7. Portugal also had 7. Then with 8 was Germany, with 10 was England, 16 was Spain, and tied on 19 France and Argentina. So those were each team and how many times they won it. Worked out probabilities. There's a 10.8% chance the World Cup goes to either Argentina or France. But, there is a but. Argentina and France won it a lot when it was on high chaos. Whereas Spain had practically 0 wins. I think they had 2, if I remember correctly, when it was on high chaos. So Spain, if you're going purely based on standard mode, Spain are the most likely winners. But if you include the high chaos mode, which I have done because the World Cup isn't predictable, you're going to have chaos moments. It's going to be unlikely. Have a 9.09% chance. England won it 10 times with a 5.68% chance. So they're the 4 teams most likely to win this World Cup. Then you had Germany, who have a 4.55% chance. Portugal, Turkey, and Ecuador, who each have a 3.98% chance. Obviously, Ecuador and Turkey probably take that with a bit of pinch of salt. And Brazil with a 3.41% chance. So yeah, that does say Ecuador more likely than Brazil. So don't take this too seriously here. That is mental. Then with a 2.84% chance, you had Netherlands, Colombia, and Norway, who all had 5 wins. Then with a 2.27% chance, Croatia, Paraguay, and Switzerland. Paraguay being that high is mental. Like, that's absolutely mad. Then with a 1.7% chance, Canada, Uruguay, Senegal, 1.14, Scotland, Belgium, Australia, South Korea, Egypt, Panama, Iran. Belgium being in that category is mad. They just really didn't win it. They won it twice, clearly. But yeah, that would surprise me. That's probably the most surprising of the lot. And finally, each with a 0.57% chance of winning this World Cup, Japan, Czech Republic, New Zealand, Morocco, South Africa, Uzbekistan, and USA. Nobody else won the World Cup across 176 attempts. Now, earlier in the video, if you remember, I mentioned that France and Argentina were tied on 19 each. So, we need a tiebreaker. We couldn't have a winner. We need a winner. Bit of fun here, you know what I mean? We can't have a tie. So, we then put it back on the standard to find out who is most likely by simulating until one of them wins and ultimately has 20 World Cup wins out of, well, we don't know how many simulations. So far, 176. Oh, who's it going to be? Oh, Mexico. Mexico did it. Fair play. Why have you done this to me? Mexico didn't win it once through all of the simulations, and I go for a tiebreaker, put it on standard, and we have Mexico win. Great. And Uzbekistan making the semi-finals, getting the bronze medal. Like, what on earth? And then we simulated again and again and again. Spain came up again, and suddenly we were all tied at 19. Spain had caught up. Spain, Argentina, and France, and we simulated it. And the winner was, drum roll please, the French. Au revoir. The French have got their 20th title of this simulation. So we in total had 181 simulations, and France won 20 of them. But the fact that we put it back on standard and Spain got it all the way back to 19 from 16, that tells me that Spain are probably the favourites, just because they were winning it more on standard. So yeah, take with that what you will. Argentina favourites, France are favourites, Spain are favourites, whichever one you want really. England just below. Paraguay winning it all. We're all turning Paraguayan for this World Cup because we want to see a victory. I'm going to be supporting Paraguay from now on. That's it. And I hate watching Spain, France and Argentina because they've done my head in. The amount of times they came up was fuming. The most annoying part of all of this, though, was when a nation that are never going to win it keep coming up. Ecuador 7 times. I'm hate watching you now. You're on my radar. But yeah, if you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, comment, all these cool stuff. Please, it helps out a lot. And World Cup content is coming your way. I'm filming this on the 3rd. I don't know when it's coming out. But basically, the World Cup starts on the 11th. And we are going all in World Cup content from now until the end of July, when the tournament ends. So yeah, stay subscribed for cool World Cup content. It's been your boy Beagers82. Let everybody know that I'm the guy to go to for World Cup content. And make sure you tell everybody to subscribe, comment and share. I'll see you all in a bit. Peace.